When you think of South Africa, what comes to mind? Probably incredible safari landscapes, right? Or maybe it's really complex, powerful history. But there's this whole other story, a story of unbelievable innovation and record-shattering achievements that have shaped our world in ways you would just never expect.
So let's ask ourselves, what actually defines a nation? Is it just the headlines we see on the news, or is it something deeper, something hidden in the history of its achievements? Today, we are pulling back the curtain on some of South Africa's most amazing and, honestly, most surprising world firsts.
So here's our roadmap. We're going to look at how they pushed medical boundaries, we'll dive into a nuclear story you won't believe, check out some genius engineering for everyday life, see nature on an absolutely grand scale, and wrap up with some mind-blowing world records.
All right, first up, let's talk about medicine. This is a field where South Africa has consistently been a heavyweight, a true legacy of life-saving innovation.
I'm still alive. Just think about those 3 words. Those were the first words spoken by Louis Washkansky, right after a surgery that the entire world thought was pure science fiction. That simple phrase, it changed medicine forever.
So here's the story. It's 1967, in Cape Town. A surgeon named Dr. Christian Barnard does the unthinkable. He takes the heart from Denise Darval, a young woman tragically killed in a car accident, and places it inside 53-year-old Louis Washkansky. Now, Washkansky only lived for another 18 days, but that wasn't the point. He proved it could be done. The barrier was broken, and the door to modern organ transplants was kicked wide open.
And that was just the start. It's wild. The fundamental math that makes CT scans possible, co-invented by a South African physicist. The Amoyals cryopencil, this revolutionary tool that uses extreme cold for surgery, that came from there too. The SmartLock safety syringe, which has saved countless lives, same story. And just in 2019, they performed the world's first transplant of 3D printed middle ear bones. The innovation just doesn't stop. Okay, now for a complete change of pace. From saving lives one by one to a decision that quite possibly saved the world from a much darker future. We need to talk about South Africa's one-of-a-kind nuclear journey.
This timeline, it's just unprecedented. In the 70s, feeling isolated on the world stage, South Africa starts secretly building nuclear weapons. By the late 80s, they have them. But then, and this is the key part, in 1989, President F.W. de Klerk makes this historic decision. Get rid of them. All of them. And from there, they went from having a secret arsenal to being a leading voice for global disarmament.
And let's be clear, this wasn't some science experiment. We're talking about 6. They had built 6 fully operational nuclear bombs. And then they did something no other nation in history has ever done. They willingly took that arsenal all the way down to 0. They are, to this day, the only country to have developed nuclear weapons and then completely, voluntarily given them up.
Okay, so from these huge global decisions, let's zoom in a bit. Let's talk about inventions you might actually find in your own home, or at least see in your daily life, thanks to some really clever South African engineering.
I love this list. It's so varied. You know those weird-looking concrete blocks you see protecting harbors? They're called dolos, a South African invention. The creepy Crowley, the world's first automatic pool cleaner. And get this, Prattley's Putty, an adhesive so incredibly strong it was used on the Apollo 11 moon lander. From turning coal into oil to creating the iconic portable workbench, these are just practical solutions to real-world problems.
Okay, we've covered the man-made. Now let's talk about the magnificent. South Africa is a land of natural world records, a place where nature just seems to do everything bigger and better.
I mean, just look at this lineup. It's like the Animal Kingdom's Hall of Fame. The biggest land mammal, the elephant. The tallest animal, giraffe. The fastest land mammal, cheetah. And it keeps going. The biggest bird, the ostrich. The biggest fish, the whale shark. And the biggest reptile, the leatherback turtle. They're all there.
And if that's not enough for you, how about the annual Sardine Run? We're not just talking about a lot of fish, we're talking about a biological event so enormous, with schools of fish stretching up to 15 kilometers, that you can literally see it from space. It's a true planetary phenomenon.
So you have record-breaking nature, and it seems you also have people who are just determined to push human limits, especially when it comes to sports and pure heart-pounding adrenaline.
216 meters. Let that sink in for a second. That's 709 feet. That is the insane height of the Blaukrans Bridge, where you'll find the highest commercial bridge bungee jump on the entire planet. But the bridge is only half the story. The people are even more incredible.
The world's oldest bungee jumper? A 96-year-old named Moore Keat, who took the plunge right there. And then you have Scott Huntley, who jumped off it 107 times in one day. One day.
And the athletic achievements are just nuts. South Africa is the only nation to have hosted the Men's World Cups in rugby, cricket, and football. On the track, Wade van Niekerk didn't just break the 400-meter world record, he did it from lane 8, the lane you're not supposed to be able to win from. In the pool, Tatiana Smith is an absolute legend. And in cricket, they hold the record for the highest, most unbelievable, successful run chase of all time. 438 runs. Just amazing.
So when you just step back and look at the whole picture, it's pretty incredible. This is a country where 2 Nobel Peace Prize winners, Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu, literally lived on the same street. A nation that builds the most destructive weapon known to man and then decides to get rid of it. The story of this place is just so full of these fascinating, unexpected twists.
And that kind of leaves us with the final thought, doesn't it? If one country can be the quiet source of all these world firsts in medicine, in morality, in engineering, in just pure human courage, what other incredible stories, what other hidden histories are out there, all around us, just waiting to be seen?